Welcome to the Author's Corner Review, brought to you by KNEO Radio 91.7 FM. I'm Roberta Foster, and today I'm sharing fiction with you that's published by Thomas Nelson. The first book is written by Colleen Cobble and Rick Acker. It's called When Justice Comes, a Tupelo Grove novel, and this has been on the market since March 3rd. The clock is ticking, the past is catching up, and their family's fate hangs in the balance. Hezekiah Hez Webster and his fiancée Savannah stand on the brink of a new life, but their dreams are haunted by specters of the past. Just as they're getting ready to adopt her nephew, two other petitioners also file for custody, both of whom only want Simon for their own gains. Between the financial company that has outmaneuvered to save the university from ruin and the bad blood from the head of the Willard family, it's hard to say who wants them out of the way more. Hez and Savannah's quest for justice leads them through a labyrinth of family law where loyalties are tested and trust is a dangerous luxury when every decision could be their last. With the clock ticking, Hez and Savannah must confront the ghosts of their past and their deepest fears to secure a future for Simon. But with every secret revealed, the stakes grow higher. Can they build the family they've always dreamed of, or will their enemies succeed in tearing them apart forever? That is When Justice Comes by Colleen Cobble and Rick Acker, published by Thomas Nelson. And the next book is called Witness Protection, written by Robert Whitlow and also published by Thomas Nelson. And this book is available as of April 7th. John Tremaine has lived in hiding for years. Will coming out of the shadows to help a friend be too great a risk? All is finally good. John Tremaine has created a new life in Brunswick, Georgia, as part of the Federal Witness Protection Program after testifying against the former drug cartel he was involved with. Only his wife, Sarah, and a handler with the U.S. Marshal's Office know his true identity, and he is now the manager of a large commercial tree farm with a baby on the way. But when one of John's employees is arrested for allegedly smuggling drugs into the United States, he goes against his better judgment and inserts himself in the middle of the case, believing the man is an unsuspecting mole manipulated by sophisticated drug dealers. Kelly Quinn, a highly skilled litigator with an Atlanta law firm, has moved to Brunswick to work with her best friend from law school, hoping to rebuild her life after a painful divorce. She and her two children find a temporary home with her aunt, Carly, a woman whose great faith is making an impression on her new house guests. For the first time in a very long time, Kelly sees a future where she can find balance between the job she loves and the family she loves even more. New to the firm and in need of clients, Kelly agrees to represent John's employee. The unfolding investigation reveals layers of criminal activity and possible connections to John's past, putting everyone at risk of exposure and even death. Robert Whitlow is the best-selling author of legal novels set in the South and winner of the Christie Award for Contemporary Fiction. He received his J.D. with honors from the University of Georgia School of Law, where he served on the staff of the Georgia Law Review. And you can find out more at robertwhitlow.com. The next book is called More Than Friends. It's written by Denise Hunter and will be available on April 14th. Who knew that returning home after a broken engagement could be the best decision you ever made? Jenna Green just ended things with her boyfriend, which also ended her career. That's the risk a girl takes when her boyfriend doubles as her boss. With no income and no job prospects in sight, Jenna is forced to return to her mother's house in Virginia to figure out what's next. And the timing couldn't be more perfect. Jenna's widowed mother has just returned from a cruise with a brand new boyfriend in tow. But there's something off about the guy. His story doesn't quite add up, and he keeps sneaking off to make suspicious phone calls and borrowing money from her too trusting mother. In search of some investigative help, Jenna turns to her childhood BFF, Tyson Parker, who lives and works in town. Still reeling from his wife's infidelity, Tyson is doing his best to heal from the pain of divorce. He's made a name for himself on the island as a volunteer firefighter and one of the much admired saltwater cowboys who looks after the wild ponies. Oh, and he turned out to be more than a tiny bit attractive, besides being almost too good to be true, sweet, and caring. Growing up, the uber-competitive Jenna was always accepted as one of the guys, but things have changed between her and Tyson, and he's now looking at her through new eyes. Jenna suddenly feels like a leading lady on a movie set, only with way less composure. But Jenna also has old wounds that make these new feelings seem fraught with peril. Is she willing to open her heart and see where love might lead, or will she let her hesitant heart hold her back? Denise Hunter is the internationally published best-selling author of more than 40 books, 3 of which have been adapted into original Hallmark Channel movies. She has won the Holt Medallion Award, the Reader's Choice Award, the Carroll Award, the Forward Book of the Year Award, and is a Rita finalist. When Denise isn't orchestrating love lives on the written page, she enjoys traveling with her family. Denise makes her home in Indiana, and you can find her at denisehunterbooks.com. That's More Than Friends by Denise Hunter. And our last book from Thomas Nelson is Handle with Love by Mary Beth Mayhew Whalen, and it will be available on April 14th. 3 women walk into a post office. This is no joke. It's the spark that ignites a life-altering hostage crisis. On a quiet spring afternoon, an ordinary small-town post office becomes ground zero for a domestic dispute. A husband draws a weapon and seals the doors, holding 4 hostages captive. His terrified wife, a young woman searching for meaning amid uncertainty, a mother on the brink of letting go as her only daughter graduates, and an elderly woman concealing a secret that could shatter everything she knows. Outside, the negotiator works to keep a fragile peace, forced to confront her own baggage as every word becomes a lifeline. Each of the 3 women who walked into the post office is carrying something that, if mailed, would profoundly change her life. As minutes become hours in this day-long siege, these strangers forge lasting bonds. Handle with Care shines a light on hope found even in the darkest moments, and illuminates how even strangers, thrown together by chance and hardship, have the power to change each other's lives. Mary Beth Whalen is the author of Every Moment Since and 9 previous novels. Mary Beth received a BA degree in English with a concentration in writing and editing from NC State University a long time ago, and has been writing ever since. And you can find out more about her at marybethwhalen.com. Recapping the books I've shared with you, all from Thomas Nelson: Handle with Care by Mary Beth Whalen, More Than Friends by Denise Hunter, Witness Protection by Robert Whitlow, and When Justice Comes by Colleen Cobble and Rick Acker. If you'd like to know more about these books and any others published by Thomas Nelson, we invite you to visit the publisher's website. And if you'd like to hear this review again or share it with another, you can find it on your favorite podcast platform or go through kneo.org. This has been Roberta Foster with your Author's Corner review. Join me again next time on KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word.